Welcome to TJbletop. I am your humble bard, TJ, here to tell you another tale from the dice table. This one comes from Mirari's second universe. You know, since I'm kind of running out of story to tell, I'm not really, there's still plenty of Mirari stories, but the ones that I have pieced together still need a little bit of work. So I'm going to take you back to the second universe. He didn't get to do much there, but the DM did keep the game together long enough to do some pretty cool things. So I actually do have one tale that I can tell you. And the tale comes to a bad ending. I will go ahead and tell you that. Not a TPK. Only one character died. But it is a cautionary tale. And it is going out to players who use the defense, "It's what my character would do." I was just playing in character. This is never a valid excuse. If you're going to do something, it is a valid excuse only when it only affects you. So let me tell you what I mean and how doing that excuse can very easily just ruin everything. In the second universe that Mirari existed, we didn't get to do a whole lot, but we got to do some fun adventures. In particular, just because I love this moment, so I'm just going to get this moment recorded just so it's out there in the universe. One of the things that we got to do, this is when our party was like max and there was like 6 players. Like, awesome, we're at a big table now. We ventured to the top of a volcano where an Eladrin from the Feywild was trying to like take it over and claim it in the name of like the summer Eladrins, or I'm not up on my Fey, and it's been a long time, so I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was a summer Eladrin who wanted ownership of the volcano and the island, and he was trying to claim it, and he had a fire elemental on his side because volcano. Now the funny part to this is that all these other characters kind of struggling to climb up to the volcano. I have spider climb, so I'm walking up. So, and that means I'm the first one to actually run into him. So, combat starts, we're kind of divvying up who deals with what threat. I'm mostly picking at the fire elemental because I've got ice knife. I'm just kind of like throwing spells at him, just kind of blasting him. And I notice as this goes on, nothing's really hit me. For whatever reason, DM decided not to target the druid. I'm not entirely sure why, but it meant that I never lost concentration. So at one point, our bard, who was an Azamar, so they had like the flying wing ability, our Azamar, I think, tries to tackle the Eladrin off the edge of the volcano, misses, and falls off the side himself. Okay, so he spreads his wings, flies back up, but as he's falling, I have the idea, hey, it's actually a good idea, because this is a really powerful enemy for our level, but let me try it another way. Since nothing hit me, I still had concentration, which means I still had spider climb, so I walk off the edge of the volcano. I'm now standing like sideways, and I walk the edge of the volcano behind where the Eladrin is, and I Thorn Whip, and I just yank him off the side of the volcano. He plummets down, passes the bard on the way up. They go phew, splat, and I get to kill the boss in a hilarious way with a cantrip. I love that. I absolutely loved it. It was hilarious. But that was kind of just like a really cool, it's just like a funny moment, and like one really cool thing that I did get to do with my character before he really got to do his coolest stuff. But it also created like a little moment between me being a fake bard and the real bard, because now I had just did what he was trying to do, but I succeeded. this was just kind of a running thing. Our Aasimar Bard played very much like your stereotypical D&D Bard. He would go around town and he would basically prostitute himself out to any woman with a pulse. And he would also offer up his performance services for the night in exchange for free room and board at the local inn/tavern. You know what? Okay, I will put up with this. You can play your typical, like, pants off bard as often as you want, so long as we don't have to pay for a room. So he goes, we let him do it, because why not? It's how he wants to have fun. But he was a gimmicky bard. Like, when I play a gimmicky character, it's like a complete upheaval of what you expect. His idea of a gimmicky character was his bard's specialty. The instrument that he was proficient with was a triangle. Just like, just your basic little triangle that will hang from a string. Ding! That kind of thing. But apparently he could rock this thing, like I don't know, I don't know, like, we never really figured out exactly how he was doing such good performances with a triangle, but that's what he wanted to do with his character. That was the joke. So he just kind of goes with it. He's like the Lindsey Sterling of the triangle. Just ding, 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 ding. Whatever. Let him do it. The fun, though, was anytime my fake bard would do any kind of druid stuff, his character would be conveniently looking away. Or if we went to a magic shop and, like, I'm getting spell components, he's off, like, just browsing the shelves and just, like, completely oblivious. He's just looking. So he never really picks up on the fact that my bard is fake. He thinks there's another bard in the party. And he's all about this. He spends the whole time, like, trying to get me to, like, join in on the act. And, like, we'll sing songs together. The women will love us. I go, well, not everybody wants that. And he goes, the men will love us. Good line. Good line. Quick thinking. My character was married, so that's the idea behind that one. But he didn't know, and that was the fun of it. And then what made it even more fun was being the fake bard. Mirari would just kind of sit during his performances and heckle him. The fake bard was giving the real bard crap for being terrible at his performances. So the fake bard is criticizing him. And I had fun. I had such fun coming up with ways of insulting his triangle playing. You sound like a dinner bell at a vomitorium. You sound like a church bell that converted to Satanism. You sound like someone brought a wind chime to life just to find out what it sounds like when it dies. I had fun coming up with these things, and that was just how our relationship went, But we were both having a lot of fun with it, especially as I found out later on, he was playing it that his character knew that my bard was a fake bard, and he was just kind of letting me go with it and keeping me on my toes. Like the same way I would heckle to keep him on his toes with his playing and performances, he would keep me on my toes to keep up my charade. That made for a really interesting dynamic, and we had a lot of fun with it. Then came the White Dragon. So, we are not very high level. I think we're like level 5 at this point, and the DM just happened to roll on an encounter table, and White Dragon came up. Now, we didn't know what size. There's white dragons you can handle. There are dragons you can handle at low levels. If they're infantile, juvenile, you can handle that. We didn't know this one. No one rolled a nature check or a survival check high enough to actually tell. But this really spooked our rogue, who was a DM himself and knew how dangerous a white dragon could be. He was absolutely convinced there was no way we were supposed to win this fight, and the correct strategy was to just go. Now, we didn't know that at first. We also weren't aware that our rogue speaks speaks Draconic. Okay, I don't even remember how he speaks Draconic. I don't remember the rogue being like a dragonborn or anything, so I don't know exactly why he had that speech, but he could speak Draconic. And he makes an offer to the white dragon. You can have the bard if you let the rest of us go. No one hated the bard's antics more than the rogue. So, DM rolls, and you know what? This plays to the nature of a white dragon. So, white dragon becomes focused on our bard. And I'm like, you know what? That's actually like good as a diversionary tactic. Let me get my my flaming sphere up, and I'll cast it as soon as the dragon starts charging in. Like, we can catch it off guard if the rest of us start attacking while he's going after the bard. That wasn't what the rogue had in mind. The rogue has turned invisible, and he has taken all of his movement to run away, and then is dashed to take his action to run even further. He is bolting. He has no plan as far as diversion. He has no plan as far as actually beating this thing. He's literally trying to sacrifice the bard in order for the rest of us to go. Some of the party go with that and follow him. And by the time it's my turn, we just don't have an option. They're too far. Everyone else is now too far away, and I can't fight a white dragon on my own, so I've got no choice. I have to go as well. The bard gets frozen. The bard gets flown off and dies somewhere in the nest of a white dragon being devoured. It's the first time I've been legitimately angry at a table, and in character I am not hiding that. But it's what my character would do. His character he was playing an evil character, an evil aligned character, and he saw the rest of the party as just basically expendable meat shields. You know, my family's rich, you know, if all you die, they'll just hire me more protectors. It's what my character would have done. You cost one of the players their character. And you ruin the fun me and him were having together. Even if he rolls up a new character and keeps playing, even if it's a character he likes better, you've taken away our dynamic that we've been building up. And that's just not cool. If your decision is in character, but it's going to cost another player their fun, don't do it. Don't be the dick at the table that spoils the game for somebody else. D&D is about letting everyone at the table have fun, letting everyone have a turn at being the hero. If you're the DM, you set up ways that they can triumph and do super cool things and feel like really powerful and heroic. You know, if you're a player, you don't always hog the spotlight. You let someone else get the final blow. You let someone else come up with the plan. You let someone else do the talking that gets you into the impossible situation or gets you out of the impossible situation. You try to make sure everyone can have fun. But it's what my character would have done. You decide what your character will do. And if you decide that your character is going to do something like that, you have the power to decide that something will make them decide otherwise. They'll have a second thought. Or they'll maybe rethink the usefulness of the person. Or they will figure out some way where, you know, maybe it's more advantageous not to sacrifice somebody. Either way, it is a cautionary tale. Do not be that guy. Do not ever be that guy. You know, and that was pretty much the straw that kind of broke that campaign. That we didn't play another game after that, much to my chagrin. Our bard was going to roll up a new character, but he started getting wrapped up in other things. Like, it basically just killed his interest in the game. And we had already had to kill off one of the characters because his work schedules started getting in the way of the game, so he had to bow out. So his character got killed off. So now we're down 2 characters. We're just bleeding a little bit too much here to be able to continue. What's terrible is that as a consequence of what he did, the DM decided that you're not going to get a restful night's sleep. You're going to take a point of exhaustion every day for like the next month because of what you did, because of the consequences of this. And to play to that, you're going to, you say, well, you're going to be haunted by the sound of a triangle every night as you try to sleep. After that session, I went to Amazon and I bought a triangle. I went to Walmart and I bought a thick notebook and I carved a triangle shape out of the pages, and I hid the triangle and the hammer inside. And that was going to be my new notebook. And the next time we came to the game, I was going to say, okay, I'm going to take a spot, when we camp out, I'm going to take a spot next to the rogue, and I'm going to pretend to be asleep for about half an hour, and then I would have pulled the triangle out of the book to the uproar of everyone in the crowd. And ding! Oh, it would have been funny. It would have been legendary, but that was a doomed campaign. But hey, if you've watched any other episodes in the series, you know, there were bigger and better things waiting for Mirari. And you know what? Rogue turned out to be a really cool guy, as long as he wasn't playing against us. So that is my story of the second universe that Mirari was in. About the only stories